The ocean holds many stories, of birth, of voyage, of loss, and of return. It remembers. It carries the memory of those who came, and those who chose to go back. They were not forgotten. They walked into the water, not as captives, but as warriors, as mothers, as sons and daughters of the red earth. They chose freedom not in chains, but in the silence of the sea. This is the story of the ones who would not bow, the story of Igbo landing, and the day the sea became a doorway home. Before the ships came, there was life, in the lands east of the river Niger, where the yam was king, and every morning began with song. The Igbo people thrived. They lived by codes of honor, in clans bound by kinship and custom. There was no king, only councils of elders, wisdom passed in proverbs, and spirits that walk alongside the living. They honor their ancestors with dance and divination. They believe that Chi, one's personal spirit, guided destiny, and that no soul should ever be owned. They were farmers, blacksmiths, midwives, priests, and warriors. They knew the season, the stars, and the soil. But what they did not know was that beyond the forest, across the great waters, a dark hunger was growing. Hate came not as armies, but as whispers in the night. Some were betrayed by neighbors. Others were taken in raids, prisoners of conflicts they did not start. The path to slavery did not begin at sea. It began in silence, through warfare, through greed, through desperation. Bound at the wrists, shackled at the neck, they marched hundreds of miles toward a world they could not name. Some did not survive the journey. Others wished they hadn't. At the coast, they were held in barracudas, dark enclosures where air grew thick with sickness and mourning, stripped of names, stripped of dignity, sold like cattle to European traders who called them cargo. They were led onto floating tombs. The Middle Passage had begun. The Middle Passage, a journey across the Atlantic where death was a constant companion, and freedom was just a fading memory. Shackled in pairs, they lay shoulder to shoulder, men, women, children, chained not only by iron, but by grief, by thirst, by the scent of blood and waste. Some sang old songs to remember who they were. Others fell silent, their minds already gone. The journey could last weeks or months. For many, it never ended. Illness spread faster than hope. Those who weakened were cast into the sea, lost without burial, without prayer. But not all were broken. Among them were the Igbo, a people who believed no one could own the spirit, and soon their spirit would rise. In the month of May, 1803, the ship The Wanderer arrived at the shores of Georgia. On board were 75 Igbo men, women, and children, torn from their homeland, branded and sold into American hands. They were purchased by men who sought to use their backs to feed cotton and rice fields. To them, the Igbo were not human, but labor, a profitable investment. But the Igbo knew what awaited them. They had heard the tongues of the slavers. They had seen the lashes, the iron, the chains. And in that silence, they made a choice. They did not speak in English. They did not plead. They spoke in song, in rhythm, in unity. They would not live as slaves. The sea was still, the air heavy, and in that stillness, the Igbo rose, with chains still on their wrists, with salt still stinging their wounds. They took back their power. They did not run. They did not hide. They walked, one by one, into the creek, their heads held high, singing in the language of their mothers. They chose death over bondage. Or perhaps they chose life in another form. For some say they did not drown. They flew. When the waters stilled, nothing remained but the sound of the wind and the ripples in the creek. The Igbo were gone, their bodies never found, their spirits never broken. The tale spread quickly from Georgia's rice fields to the deep south. The Africans had walked into the sea and vanished. Some said they returned to Africa, carried by the gods. Others said they turned into birds, flying back to their homeland. Dem Igbo ain't die. They gone home, child. They ain't meant to be no slave. They walk in the water and they fly. To this day, the waters of Dunbar Creek are sacred, a place of pain, a place of power, a place where the line between death and liberation was drawn by those who refused to be owned. The legacy of Igbo landing did not end in the depths of Dunbar Creek. It carried forward in the hearts of those who survived and those who never forgot. In the music, in the drum beats, in the words of the elders, the spirits of the Igbo still walk with us. Their resistance echoes in the marches, in the calls for justice, in the voices that refuse to be silenced. The spirit of defiance, of resilience, of unbreakable will lives on. They walk among us in every story, in every brushstroke. And every time we say their names, whether aloud in prayer or in song, they rise again. The Igbo who walked into the sea were never lost. They are with us, always free, and in their freedom, they remind us of our own. I believe you enjoy The History Poet. Kindly smash the subscribe button. Give me a like. It encouraged me to do more, and on the notification button